Have you ever wondered what would happen to Earth if humanity suddenly disappeared? In the blink of an eye, 8 billion people vanish. No more engine noise, no factory smokestacks, no human voices. Only silence remains. This isn't a story about how we disappeared, but about what we left behind and about a planet beginning its incredible transformation. Join us on a journey through time to see how nature reclaims what was once hers and what happens to our legacy when there is no one left to protect it. In the first hours and days, the world slowly descends into darkness. Most power plants, dependent on constant fuel supplies and human supervision, shut down one by one. The global electrical grid, perhaps the most complex machine humanity ever built, gradually collapses. Lights go out first in smaller towns, then in the only remaining sources of light are fire, lightning, and the stars. A few wind turbines or solar panels might continue on their own, but only until mechanical failure or layers of dust bring them to a halt. Beneath our cities, another kind of disaster begins. Pumps that constantly keep subway systems dry stop working. Within days or weeks, depending on the city, the underground tunnels of New York, London, and Paris will turn into dark, flooded caverns. At the same time, above ground, the air begins to clear. Without billions of cars and countless factories, smog slowly fades from city skies. Visibility improves, and the sky becomes clearer than it has been in generations. But what about the animals we left behind? Millions of pets, trapped in homes, face starvation. Livestock on farms bred to depend on us are left to fend for themselves. Only the most adaptable survive. Hardier dog breeds form packs, returning to the instincts of their ancestors. Cats, already semi-wild, adapt more easily. This is only the beginning of a dramatic transformation in the animal kingdom. After 1 year, the world looks. Nature has gone on the offensive. Cracks in asphalt become homes for the first plants. Dandelions, clover, and grasses push through sidewalks. Carefully maintained parks turn into wild meadows. Without heating or air conditioning, buildings experience extreme stress. Cycles of freezing and thawing create cracks in walls and facades. Water, the greatest enemy of concrete, begins to seep everywhere. Without firefighters, lightning ignites massive wildfires that consume entire sections of cities. Animals that escaped from zoos now roam suburban areas. Lions and bears, once behind bars, rise to the top of a new urban food chain. Rivers, partially freed as dams deteriorate over decades, begin returning to their ancient courses, creating new wetlands, ideal habitats for birds and amphibians. During this time, something invisible but far more dangerous occurs. Hundreds of nuclear power plants around the world have long entered automatic shutdown mode. Most reactors safely power down. However, the real-time bombs are the pools storing spent nuclear fuel, which require constant cooling. As water pumps stop, the water evaporates, the fuel overheats, melts, and releases radioactive particles, potentially creating new invisible zones of death, similar to Chernobyl. 25 years after our disappearance, cities are unrecognizable. Plants have conquered nearly every surface. Ivy, blankets, facades, and trees grow on the rooftops of skyscrapers. Take Belgrade as an example. Nazmihajlova Street is no longer a pedestrian zone, but a green canyon echoing with birdsong. The Kalemegdan fortress, which withstood centuries, now battles tree roots tearing through its walls. The Gazella Bridge, once a symbol of constant traffic, stands as a rusted skeleton wrapped in vines. Steel slowly loses its battle with corrosion. Many bridges collapse. Even the Eiffel Tower, without regular maintenance and repainting, becomes a fragile, rusted sculpture. Concrete buildings, though they seem eternal, also decay. Water reaches the steel reinforcement inside, causing it to corrode. As the steel expands, it cracks the concrete from within. Entire floors collapse, leaving mountains of rubble that nature quickly transforms into vegetation-covered hills. Former farmland becomes young forest. This new wild world is a paradise for wildlife. Populations of deer, wild boar, and roe deer explode. With them return predators. Wolves, once pushed into remote mountains, now hunt in packs on the edges of former cities. Lynx and bears once again rule Europe's forests. Biodiversity, once in decline because of us, begins to recover. After 200 years, most smaller wooden and metal structures have collapsed, their materials slowly returning to nature. Cities are now dense forests, pierced by the ruins of the largest buildings. Most houses are flattened, leaving only foundations as silent witnesses to former lives. Nature has established a new balance. Ecosystems have recovered, but they are different. Species spread by humans, such as invasive plants, have become permanent parts of these new environments. The oceans, freed from industrial fishing and pollution, begin to recover as well. Fish populations rebound. Whales and dolphins once again dominate the seas. Coral reefs, once on the brink of extinction, slowly regenerate in cleaner water, so long-term ocean acidification remains a threat to full recovery. Although carbon dioxide levels remain high due to its long presence in the atmosphere, the massive growth of new forests slowly begins to absorb it. It is a slow process, but the planet moves toward a new climatic equilibrium. 10,000 years after humans. What remains? Almost nothing. Our cities exist only as strange layers in geological strata. The only recognizable traces are massive stone structures. The Egyptian pyramids still stand, as do parts of the Great Wall of China, though erosion has significantly reshaped them. Large dams, such as the Hoover Dam, would likely be breached or heavily damaged long before this point, though their remains would still be monumental. Mount Rushmore is barely recognizable, worn down by wind and rain. Yet one legacy lasts longer than stone. Hundreds of billions of tons of plastic, broken down into microparticles, are now embedded in soil and oceans. Future geologists, if they exist, might identify our era by a thin layer of plastic polymers, plastic fossils and rock. Another, more ethereal legacy travels far beyond Earth. Our first radio and television signals from the 20th century are now hundreds of light years away, racing through space at the speed of light. In 10,000 years, those signals will be 10,000 light years from Earth, our final, silent ghost. This journey through time without us reveals a powerful truth. Earth would recover. Life would continue, adapt, and flourish. Nature does not need us. Without the constant pressure of human civilization, ecosystems would regain their vitality, though the climate changes we set in motion would leave consequences for centuries. This story is not meant to judge us, but to remind us of our immense impact. We are the only species capable of consciously reshaping an entire planet. Every action leaves a deep mark. A world without us is a fascinating thought experiment, but it raises a crucial question for our present. The planet would continue without us, but what kind of world do we want to leave behind while we are still here? If this journey made you think, share your thoughts in the comments. What do you believe would be the greatest changes? And don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more stories exploring our world.